Well, I will say that we looked at over 1,000 children, if you can believe it. But, you know, I was looking for real children, not just showbiz kids that can sing and dance. And so we were very methodical about how we went through it. And I will say, as we whittled it down, the choices were made for us. I mean, it was so obvious that these were the kids. And I love that they were real kids that I could work with and talk to as children, you know, and you know, as real people, not, you know, as sort of like actors. They believed so much in what they were doing. But at the same time, they had skill. They had skill as actors, and they picked up so much from people around them, and they were able to ignore the cameras and really feel the scenes and play and be themselves. And I wanted to protect it in such a way so they felt free to be themselves, you know, and bring their characters to life. They're very special. I think they all have major acting chops. I think they all could be, you know, actors in their career if they choose to be, because that's a gift. That's a gift. Not everybody has that, and all three of them had that. Oh my gosh. Well, you know, the first film was all shot here on sound stages, all of it, every bit of it. And so it was something I really wanted to do because we were setting it in the 30s, in the Depression era. I wanted to make the feeling of the movie more real, in juxtaposition with these amazing, fantastic adventures. So we made the decision to film on location in London as much as we possibly could. And that meant in front of St. Paul's, not a painting of St. Paul's, not a CG, you know, drawing or visual effect of St. Paul's, but actually St. Paul's, the Tower Bridge. We shot all over London, you know, and that was honestly one of the most exciting things ever. The night we shot in front of Buckingham Palace, for instance, and they rarely give access to that.
Oh my gosh,
And it goes right to the Queen. But I think she heard that it was Mary Poppins, so she was like, yes. And so we shut down Buckingham Palace and what's called the Mall, which is in front of Buckingham Palace, and shot there. I mean, we had a window of time to do it, but and we had hundreds of bikes. It's Mary Poppins and the Learys on their way to Big Ben to turn back time, and that was a magical experience. Well, it was something I'd always wanted to do. I always wanted to do a big, huge production number like that one that has great male dancers. I started as a male dancer that was very athletic and exciting and involved a lot of elements, including stunt work with those bikers and all of that. That was so much fun to create that. And it was something that we built. It was with David McGee, who wrote this with us, but also John DeLuca, who wrote this and choreographed with me, and then Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman, who wrote the musical number. And we created it as a production number, a classic production number that's 8 minutes long, and starts small with just the kids and Mary and Jack, and then develops and develops into this big, grand production number in sort of in the way that some of the big production numbers that I grew up with, from Oliver, My Fair Lady, Mary Poppins, you know, Sound of Music, some of these great, big, beautiful movies, even some of the movies from the 40s and 50s, the MGM musicals always had a big production number. Oliver is another one. You know, all of these fabulous musicals, you know, have, you know, big grand production numbers, and I really wanted to find our way into that. And I thought this idea of the lamplighters lighting the way home for the children, and figuratively and literally, you know, figuratively bringing light to their world because they're in a very sort of sad place at the beginning of the number, and it was thrilling to work on. And it was built step by step by step by step, and until we got to the big, huge section, which was with all the lamplighters. And that you know, it's all on location with the exception of that, which is on a sound stage, which and it was honestly one of the most thrilling things I've ever worked on.